Now, as a guitarist, one of our most common jobs is going to be to play chords. So it's really important for guitarists to not only understand a little bit about chords, but about chord progressions themselves. And the best way to learn about chord progressions is honestly to look at some common ones. So that's why we're going to take a look at the most common 3 in this lesson. But I just want to say there's only 7 chords to a given key, and there's no copyright on chord progressions. Now, those two things combined make it so that there's so many songs that actually use the exact same chords in the exact same order. The only thing that's going to be changing between these songs is the melody or what the singer is singing. The very first kind of chord progression I want to look at is called only the primaries. Now, the primary chords in any key are the first chord, the 4th chord, and the 5th chord. So a primary chord progression is one that uses any combination of the 1, 4, and 5 chords. Now, those are the most powerful chords in the key. So it makes sense that if you want to write a good song, all you really need is the primary chords. Now, if we're in the key of A, that's going to be the A major will be our 1 chord. The D major will be our 4 chord, and the E major is going to be our 5 chord. Now, right off the bat, when I'm thinking A, D, and E, there are so many songs that come to my head, right? You get the classic Wild Thing. One quick little adjustment and we've got Crimson and Clover. Exact same 3 chords, slightly different order, but man, those 3 chords just sound awesome together, right? So many classic pop songs and so many of the best songs and even your favorite songs are just built off of the 1, 4, and 5 chord. Now, another primary progression that I want to bring up here, as it's really important and very historic, was the 12-bar blues. Now, the 12-bar blues is another kind of primary progression because it only uses 1, 4, and 5. Now, the 12-bar blues is, of course, the backbone to all blues music, but it's also a key part of rock music as well. So it's definitely one you're going to see even if you aren't a blues guy. So I want to give you a quick example of a blues in A with those same A, D, and E chords. I'm going to play a 12-bar blues, but I want to keep this pure to the blues. And that means I'm going to be throwing in some bluesy licks and things around those chords, but it's still going to be the same 3 core chords. Check it out. 3, 4. So like I said, those are the same 3 A, D, and E chords for the 12-bar blues. We just have arranged a few blues licks and things around there, but it's the same 3 primary chords. Next up, we have the simple pop chord progression, and this is going to be moving on from the 3 chord progressions into 4 chord progressions. This progression first started showing up around the 1950s, and it's become so common. It's actually become kind of a staple of the pop world. In the key of G, it's going to be these chords right here. G, the 1 chord, D, the 5 chord, E minor, the 6 chord, and then C major, the 4 chord. So I've got 1, 5, 6, and 4. There's 2 examples of this chord progression that come to my head immediately. First one is the Beatles, Let It Be. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me. Right? Classic. Now the other one, Country Roads, right? Country roads take me home to the place. Right, then back up to C. Classic, right? 2 massive songs, but that list is so much bigger than those 2 songs. Like I said, there's going to be thousands of songs that use that one. That's probably the most common chord progression in the world, so it had to go on this list. So if you want to write some pop music, look no further. Take that chord progression. There's no copyright on it. You can do whatever you want with it. So far we've been working with major key chord progressions, right? Now, what about minor keys, right? Some of my favorite songs are in minor keys, so let's take a look at the minor chord progressions. And there's one that really stands out. This is the most commonly used minor chord progression by far. And it's actually an old chord progression called the Andalusian cadence. Here's what it sounds like. If we're in A minor, you're gonna go A minor, then you're gonna go G major, F major, and then to E major or E7, right? So A minor, G major, F major, E major, right? That's kind of like the 12-bar blues of flamenco music. Most flamenco music is based off of that chord progression, but it really snuck its way into common pop music. So much so that growing up, I didn't think about that word Andalusian cadence. Nobody told me that. I thought of this as the hit the road jack chord progression. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, right? And that's such a, like, I've heard so many songs using that exact chord progression in that exact style. So again, I always thought about it as the hit the road jack, but it's technically the Andalusian cadence. And there's a slight variation on the Andalusian cadence that is all over the place too. And that is, you go A minor, G major, F major, so far it's the same, but instead of going to E at the end, you go back to G major. So I've got A minor, G, F, back to G. That chord progression right there, that slight modification to the Andalusian cadence, that gives us so many songs, right? There must be some kind of way out of here, said a joker to the thief. Right, all along the Watchtower, straight out of there. The rhythm guitar on Stairway to Heaven solo, right? A minor, G major, F, back to D, right? That's a classic move. So again, if you want to write a minor song, A minor, G major, F major, E major. Or A minor, G major, F major, back to G major. Either one of those options are gonna be fantastic, familiar, yet cool choices. Now, like I was saying in the beginning, one of your most important jobs as a guitarist is going to be playing chords. But another important job that a guitarist holds is playing solos. And I want to give you a gift for hanging out till the end of this lesson. I'm talking about this book right here. It's called How to Instantly Solo in Any Key, and it'll definitely get you having fun and give you the ability to create your own solos on the guitar. A lot of rhythm guitar players neglect their scale studies and their solo studies, which holds them back from a lot of sounds. The first thing that this book is going to show you is it's going to show you how to find any key in record time on the guitar, and it's going to give you a simple formula so that you can start soloing in any key and any style. And it's 100% yours and it's 100% free. So click here now to get your copy of the course. You can also find a link in the description of this video. Guitar is an extremely rewarding instrument. As long as you have the right information coming at you, you can have a ton of fun.